70%. One bar in San Francisco lost that much business following the outbreak. 70%. A 15-year-old bar was bustling every weekend for more than 10 years before 70% of its patrons simply vanished. The math stops working overnight when you are managing a bar that makes $1 million a year, and all of a sudden you are down to $300,000. In an attempt to keep the doors open, the proprietor depleted his savings. He bided his time until folks returned. They didn't. Furthermore, he is not by himself. Now leave a remark. From which state are you watching? Are the bars in your city the same as they were 5 years ago? I'd like to know. Bars in California that have been open for 20, 25, or even 30 years are permanently closing. It's been 25 years since Beauty Bar. 26 years have passed since Hobson's Choice. 31 years of Blackthorn's life are over. Here's what makes this narrative completely bizarre, though. Californians are already paying some of the highest prices in the nation, while bar owners are depleting their retirement funds to keep the lights on. $5 for gas and $22 for a burger and fries. The cost of groceries is 15 to 20% more than the national average. Additionally, the pubs where folks used to go to decompress are also going extinct. Subscribe now to learn why California's bar business is failing and what that means for the state's economy. The financial catastrophes that impact actual communities are dissected by this channel. Allow me to demonstrate what is going on. Let's start by discussing the scope of the issue at hand. The bar and nightclub sector in California brings in roughly $4 billion annually. $4 billion. In the state, there are more than 5,600 bars with over 45,000 employees. Isn't that healthy? Since 2020, such figures have actually increased by almost 2% annually. Here's the catch, though. That expansion is really a rebound after the fall of the pandemic. Saying you gained 10 pounds after losing 50 pounds is analogous to that. Although this is technically correct, you are still far behind where you began, and the closures continue to occur. Just San Francisco has lost dozens of famous bars in the last 2 years. Bars that serve as neighborhood markers. Bars where folks got married. Bars where patrons have known one another for decades. The proprietor of Oasis nightclub said that in an effort to continue operating, he spent all of his retirement funds. I really did believe people would come back, and they just haven't, he said. Let me now explain why this is taking place. It's more than one thing. Everything is striking at once. The first issue was that the clients vanished. Office workers once crowded downtown regions like Sacramento, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. On Friday nights, they would celebrate promotions, meet clients for happy hour, and go out for drinks after work. When remote work became popular, such employees ceased to visit downtown. Compared to before the outbreak, Sacramento is almost a ghost town, according to the California Restaurant Association. Once crammed into downtown taverns every evening, state employees now work from home. Some won't be going back to work until 2026 or later. According to a San Francisco pub owner, his sales have fallen by 70% since the neighborhood is so dead. That amounts to about $700,000 in income lost to a single business each year. You begin to see the scope of the issue when you multiply that by dozens of bars. How do you manage to lose $700,000 annually? No, you don't. You shut down. The second issue is that the expenses are crippling. Allow me to share with you the actual numbers that California bar owners deal with. San Francisco's average annual commercial rent is $60 per square foot. That rises to $70 or more in upscale neighborhoods. For the space alone, a 2,000-foot bar costs more than $10,000 a month. The annual cost of liquor liability insurance can range from $600 to $3,000, contingent on the region and claims history. In California, workers' compensation expenditures range from $2.65 to $4 per $100 of payroll. A bar with 10 employees earning $50,000 apiece would have more than $15,000 in workers' compensation alone each year. And be prepared to spend between $100,000 and $400,000 on the secondary market only to purchase an existing bar license in Los Angeles County. Add the same pricing pressures that affect every Californian before you purchase a single bottle of whiskey. Food prices have increased by 20 to 30% since 2020, and utility and insurance rates have also increased. According to the California Restaurant Association, the industry's profit margins range from 3 to 5%. At 10% to 15%, bars perform marginally better. However, that buffer vanishes when all costs increase at once. Click like if you think the content makes sense. More people need to be aware of the actual economic factors that are ruining bars in California. The third issue was that Hollywood ceased operations. This issue is exclusive to Los Angeles, where the bar scene suffered complete destruction. Hollywood goes on strike in 2023. Production crews, actors, and writers all took months off from their jobs. They stopped going out as well. A pub owner in Los Angeles described it as a fatal blow. Over a 6-month period, the strikes decreased hotel income by 20 to 40%. That was sufficient to drive many bars over the brink in a sector already devastated by the pandemic. It is tragic to see established businesses disappearing on such a grand scale, stated a spokesman from the SoCal chapter of the U.S. Bartenders Guild. These weren't brand new establishments that happened to open at the wrong time. These bars, which had endured for decades, would not be able to withstand 2023. Let me now relate this story to what people in California are already going through. Compared to households in Texas or Florida, the average California household spends more than $200 more on petrol each month, including the additional expense of driving. That comes to $2,400 annually. In 2019, a $50 supper would now cost $70 or $80. Many companies are seeing a decline in client traffic due to the exorbitant menu costs. People stay at home when a burger costs $22. California's grocery prices are 15 to 20% more than the national average. Bread, meat, eggs, and milk all cost extra. What occurs, therefore, when prices increase for everything? Individuals reduce their discretionary expenditures. Additionally, visiting a bar is an example of discretionary expenditure. The same economic pressure that crushes California households is also crushing California bars. Customers will spend less money at bar counters if they have less money in their pockets. If you want to follow economic articles like this, subscribe now. I dissect what it actually is. This event is occurring while others are engaged in pursuing clickbait. I'll tell you about a few of the bars that have closed specifically. These are more than simply figures. These are actual locations with real histories. For 15 years, Bloodhound lived in the Soma district of San Francisco. The owner did everything in his power to stay open after sales fell by 70%. We are discussing an annual revenue loss of roughly $700,000. In January 2024, he was forced to close. The Mission District's Beauty Bar. For 25 years, San Franciscans have celebrated birthdays and first dates at this neighborhood institution. It abruptly shut off in 2024. This local institution has vanished. Ashbury is Hobson's choice in hate. It has been serving the community for 26 years. The neighborhood service industry workers, who were once his regulars, no longer reside there, according to the owner. They were priced out. The bar followed them as they moved away. Regulars were priced out in large numbers. Asia SF has been a distinctive dining and entertainment experience in San Francisco for more than 25 years. One of San Francisco's most distinctive dining and entertainment experiences. It's gone. Distinctive and priceless bar of agriculture. The owners were no longer able to make the numbers work. That only applies to San Francisco. Los Angeles has a list of its own. Sacramento has its own list. There are pubs in every major California city that had endured for decades before giving up in 2023 and 2024. Here are the opinions of industry professionals. the head of the California Restaurant Association, Jockandi, provided an excellent explanation of the math. The restaurant business has a 3 to 5% profit margin. Your whole profit margin will be reduced if food prices, insurance premiums, and power bills all increase. Bars make between 10% and 15%, which is a little better. However, when all costs rise at the same time, a little improvement is insufficient. The industry is facing pressure from all sides. The industry is facing a reduction in clientele, an increase in rent, insurance, utilities, food expenses, and labor costs. Something must offer. Additionally, the bars themselves are giving. Let me now contextualize this using the national image. In 2024, more than 72,000 eateries in America shuttered. Thousands of California pubs and restaurants shuttered in just 1 year, indicating that the state accounts for around 12% of the country's hospitality sector. Early in 2024, industry studies revealed a rise in closures, which have since bottomed out to meet national trends. Analysts concluded that the main cause seemed to be larger macroeconomic concerns. Translation: it is not limited to California, but everything is worsened by the state's greater expenses. You have less margin for mistakes when your rent is $60 per square foot rather than $30. Every downturn is more severe when your insurance, utilities, and labor costs are greater. Bars in California are not failing because their owners are poor business people. The math stopped working, which is why they are failing. I'll leave you with this. More than 5,600 enterprises, more than 45,000 employees, and an industry worth $4 billion. That's what the bar industry in California is all about. The bar industry is dwindling slowly and painfully, losing one famous establishment at a time instead of collapsing abruptly in a single event. The proprietors who spent decades creating these establishments are witnessing the loss of their life's labor. The bartenders who became professionals by pouring beverages are searching for other employment. Neighborhoods that revolve around corner bars are gradually disappearing. Families in California, however, continue to pay more for groceries, petrol, rent, and other expenses. Additionally, going out for drinks becomes a luxury that fewer people can afford when prices rise. That is the actual tale of the bar business in California. The bar industry in California is experiencing a gradual decline due to escalating costs, rather than a sudden collapse. The pressure forces patrons who once occupied the bar stools to stay at home. California's passion for nightlife has created a $4 billion economy that is struggling to survive. Furthermore, survival is not assured at this time. Thank you for viewing. Click subscribe. Please inform anyone who should be aware of this. I'll see you at the next event.